I was proud of our guys on Saturday night. I thought, we had a great crowd, and it was a great college atmosphere, great football game, and our guys played hard. Then we talked about it, cleaned up the game on Monday, and move on to Duke. So everything moving forward has to do with Duke. Another division game, Coastal Division game, coming in 4-1. Giving up 13 points a game defensively and scoring 36 on offense. So it'll be a challenge for us this Saturday. I'm sure we're going to get their best shot.
Follow up on the defense, Coach. You give up 3 points over the final 3 quarters. Was that your defense executing as well as it could, or is it just a combination of your offense just being on the field consistently? Or
Well, I think it's a combination. I mean, they, we got the big turnover there at the end, and but they actually only had the ball, I think, 4 times in the last 3 quarters, so that helped. But it was a combination of both. Defensively, kind of bended, not kind of. We did bend a lot, but when we got down in the red zone, we made a couple of plays, and the bottom line is to score. So if you can keep them from scoring touchdowns, you got a good chance to win.
Coach, before the Wofford game, you told us it usually takes you, about 4 to 5, 6 weeks to find the identity of your teams.
Yeah.
5 weeks in, 5 wins in, what would you say is?
Well, I'd say they're resilient. Nothing much seems to affect them. I mean, we get behind and nothing changes. They don't, no panic, they just kind of keep playing, and that's a good trait to have. We'd like to get to the point where we don't get behind, but. So, like I said before, I think the chemistry's good. I think they like each other. I think they like what we do. They enjoy doing it. They're having fun with it. And when you do that, you can get better at it. And I think they've gotten better each week.
Coach, talk about your quarterback. What's your comfort level with him? It just looks like you're a little more comfortable with him, and he can run your offense better than maybe previous quarterbacks.
Yeah, I think that I'm getting more and more comfortable with him in the option. I think he's getting better each week, and I was pretty confident in him to run the thing on 4th and 2. I was pretty sure that he could pull it off, and I think he's made some plays at the end of games. So you give him some leeway. In fact, he came to me at one point Saturday night and was actually down on the goal line, and he goes, they really kicked over the last time we were in this formation or whatever. And I told him, I said, well, check it over there. And he's like, well, I said, well, you know what it is? I said, I'll get them next time. But I go, you're going to have to get them because they don't do it every time. And that's the kind of thing that he's getting better at. I think the more he plays, he'll get better and better.
Question about the team at large. I mean, you came into the season with a pretty good work ethic and so forth. You said early you felt good about the way the guys had invested.
Right.
Does winning reinforce or validate all the work they've already put in to the point where they are paying that much more attention now to detail and working that much harder?
Well, I think they've worked hard all year. I haven't seen a big change. I've had to get on these guys very seldom in practice. And I've gotten on them a couple of days, but like all teams, but very seldom. They usually come to work. I mean, they do what they need to do in practice, and I think the neat thing is they realize that they can get better. I mean, they can watch the tape and see that I can be way better at this, or I got to get better at this, or if we just did this a little bit better, how much better it would be for the team or individually. And when you got guys like that, they're fun to coach because they're fun to help, as opposed to guys who are, well, it's not my fault because, or they know that this is coming, or they knew, these guys have been pretty good that way.
Bolter, you're coming off games against Miami. What do you know now about Duke that maybe you didn't know before the Miami game?
I don't know. I think that you have to play them. I know that Duke doesn't beat themselves. They got a lot of veteran guys. It'll be a tough, hard-fought game unless you can just totally out-athlete them. They usually don't beat themselves. It's a dogfight. I think if we play well, we'll be okay. If we don't play well, we'll lose. Simple as that. That's kind of who we are. That's who. No matter who we play, we're kind of like that. But they had a great year last year, and they got off to a great start this year. We'll see how it unfolds.
I'd like you to talk a little bit about Zach Lasky, and I want to go all the way back to when you moved him over from defense and punt returner a few years ago and ask, what did you see in his skill set then that made you think he might transition to become a good B-back? And
Yeah.
what has he gotten better at B-back in the last couple of years?
Well, you know, Zach was his freshman year. He was a punt returner because he could catch the ball, and at the time we didn't have very many guys who could catch punts. We recruited Zach to be a B-back. I mean, that's what he was recruited for coming out of high school. Tough guy, team player, great attitude. You know, I couldn't say enough good things about him. I mean, Zach will be successful whatever he does. He's just, you know, he's got that work ethic about him. He's got a great personality. I think people like him. The kids like him. And he's tough. You know, he's may not be the quickest guy or the fastest guy, but he's quick enough and fast enough to be a good player. And he's got toughness. And he had a great spring practice. I thought he was going to have a good season. Saturday night was his best game to date, but, you know, there's still 7 games to go, and I think he can have a good year. I mean, I think he could be a good player.
Paul, how do you feel about Isaiah, Jamal, Desmond? Looks like you're getting some pretty good play after losing a guy like Jamia back there. Looks like you're getting some decent play.
You know, I thought they played their best game Saturday. I thought that overall the tackling was better. We made some mistakes, but it looked like that they played their best game, and that's encouraging because we need those guys to be good. And both Isaiah and Jamal came up with big interceptions that certainly helped, and it was good to see them play their best game. Excuse me. I think they did on Saturday, played better.
It seems like this is probably one of the most together teams off the field that you've had in terms of, you know, there's not a lot of guys that are maybe problems in the locker room, that kind of thing. It seems like kind of a fun bunch to be around. Is that kind of, do you think that's translating to some of the success
I
on the
think
field?
sure it has a lot to do with it. I don't know that we've had teams who didn't like each other or whatever. I mean, I don't think that it's, but this group genuinely, yeah, I think that they, you know, if you walk down to practice every day, they always got something going. I mean, yesterday they were killing Justin, you know, but they always got something going on, and they can laugh at each other and have fun and do things. So yeah, I think that's important for any team. You know, the chemistry has a lot to do with it.